We are through the regular season, headed to the postseason as we get ready for week number 9, the first round of the playoffs, as it's our weekly look at West Branch football presented by the Browns West Branch family of dealerships. Jason, closed out the regular season, senior night, got a big win, 28-12 over Wilton. Good, hard-fought game, and this Bears team's going to be battle-tested as they head into the playoffs.
Hey, think about it like this. Wilton, this was a team that finished 5-3 and didn't even make the postseason. A team that won more games than they lost, a strong football team. West Branch beat them 28-12 on a senior night victory. That's a great victory, a confidence booster going into this week, I think, Stephen.
Well, and it helps anytime that you've got a running back that rushes for 200 and whatever yards it was.
236 yards.
4 touchdowns.
Yeah.
Great night for him, but great night for that offensive line. Just that whole offense in general, just getting some confidence moving forward.
As you well know, the true skill position players are the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 guys up front. And if you had a tight end, I guess that would be 6.
Or for offense, 7.
For offense, tight to a double tight 7. So if those guys are playing very skillfully at this time of the season, which 236 yards would tell you that they are, then there's that other confidence boost, not just because you got a good running back and Andy behind you with over 1,100 yards now on the season, but they're starting to do a job and really starting to gel together as we get to week 9.
Yeah, and I mean that defense, it's been playing lights out all year long, and another situation where, maybe as the weeks have gone on, we've given up a few more yards or we've given up a few more points, but they're still doing their job. It's just we're playing some tough competition.
Yeah, it is. Like you said, 5 wins. A team is above 500 team last week, and then the week before you got Regina. The end of the season, the Bears played some, basically like they did at the beginning of the season, 2 of the better teams, and then 2 of the better teams at the end of the season. So they are, as you said, they're battle tested, and now it's everybody starts all over. Doesn't matter what your record is up until now. Everybody else is 0-0. Doesn't matter who's on the other side of the football.
Yeah, starts fresh, and that fresh start for us is going to be Cardinal of Eldon coming up. And right away when I look at it, it's not your mama's Cardinal.
Oh.
Years ago, Cardinal, they had a program that was searching for itself. And it seems like in the last couple of years, they've been starting to find it. And they're a talented football team coming in.
If you go back 2 or 3 years, they had a talented team then. They had, I can't think of the kid's name, but it may have been actually Maddox Jones' brother. Speaking of a quarterback that they have now, has got over 1,700 yards, 22 touchdowns to 4 interceptions. So he's 200 as a team. They're 220 passing, but he's over 200 yards, and he's also averaging, 10 yards a carry?
Yeah.
I think, running the football too. So keep your eyes on that guy right there. And I think that's going to tell you where the success is going to come from, the Comets, that you haven't seen something like this from them before. This is a team that puts up over 40 points a game, Stephen. So this is you can be down 20 points, and they can still come back in a hurry.
Yeah, you got to be on your toes. And I liken it, several of their games that kind of remind me to a Purdue, which we just saw over at Kinnick, where they run some crossing routes, some underneath stuff, and they just kind of pick away at you. But then they've had other games where they almost abandon the pass and just rely solely on the run and can do that successfully as well. So you can't just gear up and stop one aspect of it because they can come at you from many ways.
Yeah, I think the good news on those crossing routes maybe for West Branch is Coach Bailey's not going to throw like a 6-man blitz and play cover 0 and leave everything inside 10 yards wide open going left and right. I think that the linebacker play of West Branch, when we've talked about it on our podcast of a Henson, of a Bailey, but of a Henson, a Hunger, and a Federland, who, by the way, were pick to click, are going to play very key roles on those crossing routes and then on the edge when QB decides he wants to run for it.
Yeah. But I'm curious, too, to see because, Cardinal started out 5-0.
Yeah.
They had a very great run, and then they ran into Sigourney, and then they ran into Pella Christian, and then they stubbed their toe to close out the year against a Pleasantville team that needed a win to get in the playoffs.
Yeah.
And suddenly they're on a 3-game losing streak. So, it'll be curious to see how they bounce back and get ready to go, knowing that it's a fresh slate for them.
Now, if you think about it like this is a team that's never beaten West Branch anytime they've ever played, that being Cardinal. But they also look at it like this. The West Branch teams they've played before were undefeated. They've never played a West Branch team that wasn't undefeated or maybe with 1 loss. They look at, West Branch has lost 2 times. We've only lost 3 times. Yeah, they've been the last 3 weeks. But maybe they're looking at this isn't your grandmother's West Branch football team, and they're going to play with some confidence coming down to the little Rose Bowl with a team, again, putting up over 40 points a game, regardless of what they did against the last 3 weeks. They can do it. They can do it fast. And if you can get upfield, get on the outside edge with some speed and some size that they actually have at their skill position players, that might be where they have an advantage.
Well, it's going to be a great one to open things up. Like you said, it'll be at Butch Peterson Field at the Little Rose Bowl on Oliphant Street. 7 o'clock will be the kickoff Friday night. We'll have our pregame coverage coming up at 6:30 with the Bearcast. Big thank you to the Browns West Branch family of dealerships sponsoring our weekly look right here at westbranch.football.